The standard of dining in Yorkshire and the North East is on the rise, according to the Good Food Guide 2012. Gosh, 2012. The guide comes out next month, but the list of restaurants included in the guide has been released today. The York Arms in Ramsgill has made the top 50, and there are 20 new entries from North Yorkshire and the North East, including 6 from North Yorkshire. One of them is Van Zeller in Harrogate, and I'm pleased to say that the chef, Tom Van Zeller, joins me live in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice early start for you this morning, I would imagine.
Very early. Yeah.
You're probably used to working the other end of the day. So, what's your reaction to be included in the guide?
Thrilled. Absolutely delighted that we've had some recognition.
And what's special or different about your restaurant?
Well, I'm the chef patron, so that means that I front the restaurant. It's my name above the door. Everything's my responsibility, my liability. And I think that's a USP, I think, within Harrogate. Certainly within Harrogate.
So basically the buck stops with you then?
Every day, yes.
Does that create a certain type of pressure, though? You know, because you've got to make sure the food's right, but also you're the boss as well.
It's a huge amount of pressure, but I thrive from it. It's what makes me tick. Really enjoy, deciding what aspects I have to look at on a daily basis. We're
kind of in the midst of this recession, and we don't know how things are going to go. Harrogate is always perceived as quite an affluent place, but as a chef patron, do you have to take that into consideration? Are people still being very wise about how they spend their money?
Yeah, I opened the restaurant on Friday the 13th in 2009.
Gosh.
So you'll remember that's when all the headlines were really making the news about the recession. And I'm pleased to say that we've survived this far, 2.5 years, and we've got some lovely regular customers. The idea of the restaurant is to make sure that it's attainable for all, so we have a very wide price range. But the standard is still the same. It's just the use of ingredients that determines the price. But we're very pleased that we're able to offer a very high level of service and ambience, no matter how much people are spending.
I'd just like to bring Denise Howard, OBE, in here, who ran York Boat for many years, got her OBE, was awarded her OBE because of services to tourism, also been involved in estate agents, and now she's involved in welcome training. And Denise, I'm sure you heard with interest there, because it's a thing that you hear time and time again about businesses setting up during recession time, that actually, if they've got the right thing, the right product, it can work.
It can work, and I think that certainly for a restaurant, the food is hugely important, but it's the whole experience, and it's that customer service and that welcome. I know when I go out to Cyprus, sometimes it feels like I'm welcomed as a very loyal, an old customer, been going there 25 years, and I wish that more restaurants in the UK would do that, and I'm delighted that you're sat here this morning and that you've got this recognition.
Feels very calm for a chef, doesn't it? I'm just going to try. You brought something in. Do you know, I've been
full of fat.
The full of fat, yeah. Well,
do I look after my own heart?
Exactly. I'm just going to try this. Whilst I try this, the guide says that you serve, oh my word, this is lovely. Let me describe this. This is, because I'm in the dark here, because I like to be in the dark. This is, well, it's lovely. It's striped. It's raspberry coffee and cream. Is that my right assumption, or is it cranberry on the bottom?
It's plum. It's a plum.
Oh, it's plum.
Yeah, I love it this time of year. So you've got plum compote at the bottom. In the middle you've got a caramel custard, which is laced with a lot of Armagnac. And then full fat cream on the top.
But the thing is, this is striped. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to spoil that. That looks too good to eat.
Yeah, the presentation's absolutely crucial.
Is it?
Yes. Every single dish that we do, I think is fabulous.
The thing is, you can't get the 3 bits at once, and it's the cream first.
Deep,
it's the cream first, Denise, which I'm a bit worried about at this time in the morning.
Well, it is breakfast, but there is some fruit in there, so I'm not feeling quite as bad. It's gorgeous.
That is. Yeah, that is. Would you care to tell me how many calories in that teaspoon
That's too many to count.
Really? But you look very slim, if I might say so, and you probably eat your own products, do you?
I have to taste everything, of course.
Oh, what a shame.
I really do find it quite hard to eat, because you're working with it every day in the heat and the stress as well. It kind of puts you off. So I tend to eat very at strange times. I'll go home and have a cold meal at sort of midnight.
I've just hit the coffee bit, the brown bit.
Yeah. Is there some alcohol in there?
Yeah, lots of Armagnac.
Yeah, I can.
So mean, that's brandy which is flavoured with prunes, which are obviously plums. And
I can't get to the plums yet. The thing is, masses of plums around at the moment.
Indeed, yeah.
I know that my other half plum tree in his garden, and it's absolutely
It'll be very heavy at the moment.
very.
Yeah.
Very, but
when we
great.
serve this at the restaurant, we serve it with a granita on the top, which is like a frozen plum wine, which is Japanese, which is lovely. So you get that real cold hit again with the raw alcohol in it, and then you work your way through.
I will definitely have to be going to Harrogate this week for dinner.
We serve it with little donuts, which we fill with Damson jam.
Sounds wonderful.
I'm going to leave some of that for the team. Actually, that is very nice. I dread to think about the colours. I'm so taken away by that. I did ask you about urban cool food, didn't I?
Yeah, I've just read the press release. That's how they've described the style of food that we do at the restaurant.
And do you not describe it like that?
Well, it's not a phrase I've ever heard or used before. Urban cool food.
Urban cool food.
But I'll take it as a compliment, very much so. Yeah.
Urban cool. Would you describe that as urban cool, Denise, or would you describe it as
Moorish? Urban cool doesn't begin to describe how Moorish that pudding is.
Yeah. It's naughty but nice.
Very much so.
Do you remember when they used to do that with cream cakes? Naughty but nice. Very, very nice. And just tell us a bit about how you got here, because you probably had good training to start with.
Well, I'm a Harrogate lad. I went to grammar school. I worked at Betty's after school. Started doing the washing up. They put me on to doing the omelettes and the rosties and all those things that you're familiar with at Betty's. And that's where I discovered the buzz, the high, the adrenaline during service, which I've been addicted to ever since. I went to Reading. They put me on an apprenticeship work experience with Raymond Blanc. From there, natural progression to London. I worked for some very high-profile chefs who are still in the news today. Travelled extensively because I've got a trade that I can apply to allow myself to work my way around the country. Eventually found my way back to Yorkshire, having been to Sydney and New York. And I've opened my own restaurant with the backing of my friend and mentor, David Moore, of Pied à Terre fame. He's got 2 Michelin stars in London.
Wow.
He was on the television with Raymond Blanc fairly recently. And he's helped me to get the restaurant off the ground, which we've now done. We're now in a really good position. I'm thrilled to be included in the Good Food Guide because it's great PR. And we just want to build on that. We work very, very hard, and we're producing some really good food.
To get in there after 2 years, I mean, there are so many people that have tried year after year and don't make it. It's just amazing. Do you think this is a reflection that there's been a big improvement in our region?
Oh, without a doubt. I'm very proud to be from Yorkshire, and there's some wonderful food available throughout the year. We had grouse on the menu on Friday night. And,
gosh, that was quick.
Very.
Well, I picked, they were still warm and I was gutting them.
Oh, wow.
Which maybe not good at breakfast time.
No.
Anyway, we picked them up off the moor at 7 o'clock in the evening, and customers were eating them by 8 o'clock.
That's really impressive.
Fantastic.
Well, I wish you continued success.
Thank
it's
you
a
very much.
great story.
Cheers.
And the fact that you're back in your hometown after all those travels and working with the wonderful Raymond Blanc, he's just, he's great. I was very fortunate to meet him a few years ago. He's completely loopy.
Indeed.
But in a lovely, lovely way.
Yes, very charming.
And very, very successful on television as well with his TV series, as well, of course, at his restaurant and everything else. Tom Van Zeller from Harrogate, thanks very much for coming to us live on Breakfast this morning.
BBC Radio York Travel.
Let's get the latest now with David.